dinosaurs, the prehistoric creature that has seemingly become a staple in modern internet horror. But is their presence in these series becoming repetitive? Should their mere existence in these series go extinct? And are they scientifically accurate? Today, I will be answering at least 2 of those questions, for I have gathered 3 popular dinosaur analog horror series, and I will be watching them all, and taking notes along the way, and then comparing and contrasting them when we're done. How were they like? How were they different? Are they getting old? Should they collab? Hold hands and skip off into the sunset. The first channel we're going to be looking at only has 2 videos up on this topic, and I also can't pronounce their name, so I'm going to put it up on the screen. There it is. I'm going to go watch those 2 videos and then get back to you. We're going to start with possibly the most viewed out of all of these videos, which is the San Diego incident, sitting at 2.9 million views. And right off the bat, I fear there are some inaccuracies. Because T-Rexes would actually be able to, instead of roaring, be able to emit this like really low grumble that you would feel more than you would hear. Speaking of hearing, their feet were actually padded, so you could barely hear them walking. Of course, we have the common horror trope of something terrifying going on outside, so the cameraman does the only sensible thing and goes outside. You can hear a really sad dog in the background, and I think it got hurt at one point, and it made me really sad. Also, I've got the or shirt. And my last note is that his death reminded me of Quint from Jaws. And this is where I started to debate what I was actually seeing. Because at first I thought it was live action with like a little bit of editing and animation. I'm starting to think now it's just like really good like 3D models and animation. Also, something important I feel like I should mention, I have not seen the Jurassic Park movies since I was in like early elementary school. And a lot of these take place in the Jurassic Park universe. In fact, I think all of them do. So I'm going in pretty much blind. Now, we're going to go from the shortest video to the longest one with the shed incident. Supposedly, this is from Arnold's perspective, which, like I just said, I don't know much about what that means. It's Samuel L. Jackson. I should have known. It's always him. The voice acting in this boggles my mind. It is some of the best voice work I have heard. I think the best voice work I have heard in an analog horror, like, ever. Those screams are going to be engraved in the back of my mind for the rest of my life. When I am dying and going through the last 7 seconds, that is what I will hear. You know who did die? Sam. It sucked. We're not even going to talk about the raptors using him as bait. We got another inaccuracy, boys. I'm not going to bring up every single one. If I did that, it'd be really annoying, and I'm already really annoying, so. The raptors were actually more so the size of a turkey. I do get that this is building off of the Jurassic Park world, and that's how big they made them, so. I changed my shirt and pulled my hair back because it got super hot and sweaty and gross. Now we are moving on to a bit of a longer series by the wonderfully talented Rostico? Popsico? This first one is in our typical analog horror instructional tape style video. It's called T98 Spinosaurus Ambush, and with all the recent gossip about Spinosaurus, I am interested to see what happens. One of the top comments was a FNAF reference, so I will see you when I finish it. Hey, so that was actually insane. One of the first things we hear is we definitely did not have 14 men die in a Stegosaurus attack on August 5th, 1997. And honestly, I don't blame the Stegosaurus. Those guys are pretty peaceful. I'm on his side. I am also inclined to immediately question your credentials, considering the next clip shows a man begging for help from a Spinosaurus. Also, Henry is not a real one. Fire him. He really just said, okay, bye. I don't think I can do the end of this video justice, so I'm gonna play it out for you. Big jump scare warning in 3, 2, 1. One more chance. Alright, now we're going. Once again, I'm on his side. Alright, this next one is called the InGen Raptor Escape Tape. And I actually do know what InGen is. It's the company that made the dinosaurs. I'll see you after I finish that one. I don't have a whole lot to say about that one. Not in a bad way, of course. I will say, though, there's one grievance I've already picked up on with this particular, series by this particular creator, and that is, I am not the biggest fan of jump scare horror. I don't dislike it. I'm fine with it. There's just genres I like more. so I'm already not as partial to this, but that's just a personal preference, and I'm sure there's like many more good things that are going to come out of it than just that. Second of all, R.I.P. Robert, and third of all, there's a frame I really like, I'll play it here in a second, where they made the raptors look really tiny, and it got a good giggle out of me. It did. He's just a little guy. He's so small. Look at him. We're down here now because I got tired of doing them up there. We're on to InGen's dinosaur wait, what's it called? InGen's hostile dinosaur safety video.
Meaning that a carnivore like Joker. Viewing of this tape is prohibited. Discard it immediately. Viewing of this tape is prohibited. Discard it immediately.
Guys, I think viewing of that tape is prohibited and we need to discard immediately. I don't know though. We're moving on to Biosyn Audio Log 10, I think. If I sound like I'm running out of things to say, it's because I am. But don't worry, it'll all make sense in the end. We got robot dinosaurs, dog. Something I noticed about this, and I also saw this pointed out in the comments, I watched the Baddington FNAF VHS tapes forever ago, and I did really enjoy them, and I heard some of the same sound effects, and my ears perked up. I have seen quite a bit of FNAF inspiration throughout it, though. In the Spinosaurus one, the camera setup was pretty similar to the FNAF cameras. Not like a criticism or anything, but just something I noticed. We do have one thing. We have an original character that spun from a character in the movies. So, like, it's not from a movie character's perspective, but it's an OC, but it's Henry Wu's brother, which I found cool. I think that's neat, and that's gonna come into play in our Venn diagram later. Alright, chat. I'm sleepy, so I'm gonna see you tomorrow, where we will start and finish the other series, and get to work on our diagram. Good morning, it's now tomorrow. Yeah, so this is a lie. It's actually the day after. I just wanted to make a Matt Maltese reference. My blanket's different, my shirt's different, but we are so back doing the same thing. I'm now moving on to the channel called Dino X86, and our first video, I believe, is like Outpost B. Okay, so I just finished that one, and I do think that, like, in terms of quality, this is objectively the best one, but that's just my opinion. Hey, it's me from the future again. This is a lie. Or my opinion on this changes later. I'm not gonna say when, because then I'd feel mean. But just know that for the duration of this video, that does not remain true. I like how it's not handheld the whole way through. It starts as security camera footage, and then it switches to handheld. I also liked that our main character wasn't, like, overtly stupid. Like, he wasn't dumb. Like, he saw the power was out, he went in, went out, and when he saw the fences were down, he immediately jumped into action trying to leave. Of course, like, he did make some, like, dumb choices, but they weren't, like, stupid. It felt like a reasonable panicked reaction. And this next one, I believe, is called Found Footage Containment. So I will see you after that one. I don't know a whole lot to say about that one. Not in a bad way, but you'll see why in a minute. By far, my favorite part is just the random Stegosaurus bit halfway through.
Oh, thank God. You scared me. I thought you were...
Like, the wheezing at the end is so good. It's so well done. I'm alive. But I do see that there is, like, a part 2 to this specific one, like an aftermath. So hopefully I'll have more to say on that one, which I'm gonna go watch. I am back after watching that one. I like how it explained how he lived, because I was confused, because, you know, since he was holding the camera, I couldn't see where he got attacked, but knowing that it was just a leg helps. Also the fact that it's likely going to have, like, serious consequences, and it's not just like a one-off thing. I did like that. So we see how he lived, but also how it's going to affect him in the future. We also learned his name is Alistair Grant, maybe a nod to Alan Grant. This last one is called Lost Tapes from Isla Sorna. It is the longest of this one at 8 minutes and 47 seconds. But I will see you after those 8 minutes and 47 seconds with hopefully more thoughts than I had with this one. This one was like a collection of tapes, so it's from various, like, people's perspective. The kid in the first one, this is no shade to the voice actor, I did not like his voice. It was so grating on my ears, that's just a personal preference, but his survival instincts were also 0. I can cut him some slack because he's, you know, a kid, but like, oh no, I'm surrounded by a bunch of pteranodons. Let me jump around and scream and wave my arms in the air. In regards to the second tape, I like to think that the guy who got, you know, snatched by the pteranodon is the same one we saw in this guy in the previous tape. I don't know if that's canon and I'm just dense. It very well may be that, but I don't know. One of my notes just says, the girls are fighting! I love how the last one utilizes different types, because most of it was like just T-Rexes, but then we saw Spinosaurs, we saw a Stegosaur in the previous one. In this one we saw Dilophosaurs, and while not scientifically accurate, it was still really, really cool. Do you have a moment to speak about our Lord and Savior? So I wanted to continue the trend of me dressing up for these videos, except I don't have anything dinosaur or science related, because I low-key kind of hate science. So we're Victor from Arcane. It's close enough. Somewhere in the background is our Venn diagram. I am Victor from Arcane, and I will be teaching you about dinosaurs. Lock in, let's go. We're gonna start with Rostico, plus the other videos, which channel I can't remember the name of. They have characters from the JP or Jurassic Park universe or spun from that world. Arnold and Woo's brother? Question mark? We have Mimic/Robot Concepts, FNAF reference, and then we have the instructional video format. Got it? Got it. Alright, come on, let's go. And somewhere over here, or the other side, is Dino X86. We have sequels to previous parts with there being a follow-up. We have a Dilophosaur cameo, and then finally it just looks like someone's camera. Like there's a security camera at one point, but other than that, it just looks like someone's phone. The middle, JP universe, found footage, jump scares, T-Rexes, Stegosaurs, Spinosaurs, and finally, original characters. So here is our diagram. What does it tell us? I don't know. That's a lie. I do, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be talking. So, is dinosaur horror being overdone? The answer to that is, despite all of this, I really don't think it is. People forget just how broad the term dinosaur is. There's approximately like 700 species that have been, you know, found, and those are just ones that have been found. You're telling me there's one short for all 700 dinosaurs? Even this guy? I doubt it. As time goes on, more of these specimens will be unearthed, and that will open more and more creative and scientific gateways. For as long as there will be dinosaurs, there will be opportunities. Think of all the different time periods. Jurassic, Triassic, Cretaceous. My point is, they will always be here. If thousands of movies can be made about lions and tigers and bears and my personal favorite, sharks, why not dinosaurs? Because they were animals too. I forgot to make an outro, so here's my cat as we both wish you a thank you for watching if you did make it this far. This ended up being a lot longer and more rambly than I thought it would, but it's okay. Anyway, she'll see you next time. Toodles!